Hey everyone, welcome back to another Facebook Live. I'm your host, Jess.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
And today we have a lot of info to jump into. We are talking about how to talk to your parents about online school. And so we're going to jump right into the Facebook Live etiquette and get right into the content. So take it away, Lauren.
Thanks, Jess. So, some do's today. We're talking about how to talk to your parents, which, like, everybody's different. Sometimes it could be easy, sometimes it could be a little more challenging. If you have ways that you've talked to your parents about online school or just different education options and styles that you're interested in, drop those tips in the comments so everyone can see them and discuss. Also, feel free to like and share if you want to. Just don't leave any personal information in the comment section. It's public, especially things like your student number if you're already enrolled. Um, if you do need to talk to us one on one, if you're currently a Penn Foster student, you can call Student Services at 1-888-427-1000. But we know most of you here today are maybe not yet students. You're thinking about enrolling online, and that's awesome. And if you want to yourself talk to someone about how that could work for you, or if you would like a parent to call on your behalf, you can call our admissions department at 1-888-427-6500, and we'd be happy to talk through any of your questions or any questions or concerns that your parents may have. But with all that being said, we have a pretty big agenda today. We're going to cover what questions your parents may have about online school so that you can prepare. Is Penn Foster legit? That's a big one. We'll talk through how to answer that. How much does online high school cost? Can I go to college with an online high school diploma? Is online school the same as homeschool? Can your parents track your progress and grades? What is the process for transferring from your current school to Penn Foster? Do students have a set schedule, start dates, or class times? What are the benefits of online high school? What are some cons of online high school? And then how to enroll. So let's dive right in. Jess, can you guide us through what questions parents might have about online school so that we can prepare to help people answer those?
Absolutely. If you're interested in transferring from whatever current school you're going to an online high school, your parents are obviously going to have questions. It's, a newer thing and it's totally normal and, necessary for them to ask those questions. And they want to know everything about how it works, the benefits, the cost, and how it will affect your future. But before diving into school specific info with your parents or guardians, make sure you know why you want to go to online school. There are a ton of benefits to it, and it may not seem like it may not be for everybody. So you want to make sure that you're making the best choice for how you will learn best. One of the first questions that we get a lot, and your parents will probably ask, is Penn Foster legit? Can it help you reach your goals and provide you with a diploma that's recognized by schools and employers and things like that? And the answer is absolutely yes. Penn Foster is not only regionally, but is nationally accredited. And accreditation is something that ensures a school is legitimate and meets certain standards and has a quality curriculum. Penn Foster is regionally accredited for grades 9 through adult by the Commission on Secondary Schools of Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools. Ooh, that was a mouthful. And Penn Foster High School is accredited by Cognia. Is that how you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Lauren. I never read that word out loud. Penn Foster High School is accredited by Cognia, and Cognia offers accreditation and certification assessment, professional learning, and improvement services to institutions and other education providers. They are a global nonprofit. They work in over 80 companies, and they serve over 36,000 institutions and nearly 25 million students and 5 million educators every day. So really large, really important accreditation board that Penn Foster is accredited through. They're also the parent organization of NCA CASI, NWAC, and SACS CASI, which are some other accreditation boards. So with Penn Foster, we are legit. We can go through all the names of all the accrediting boards. And having those in your back pocket for when your parents ask is a really great is really great also. We're also nationally accredited through the DEAC, which is the Distance Education Accrediting Commission. And the DEAC is listed in the U.S. Department of Education as a recognized accrediting agency and is recognized by the Council for Higher Education Accreditation, which is the CHEA. We can also drop a link in the comments with all of these specifics, all of the names, so that if your parents do ask, you can have it ready for them and probably impress them with how much you already know.
Very true.
Another question is that you will probably your parents will probably ask after that one is how much does it cost? So Lauren, do you want to jump into the cost of Penn Foster and what our programs look like for what you pay?
Yeah, absolutely. And just one thing on accreditation, what Jess covered was so much. We do have a web page that covers all of this. And it does matter if you plan on going to college as a next step after high school or applying to jobs. They will look for an accredited diploma. So it sounds like a lot, but it does matter. So definitely something to look into and get familiar with. With that, you also want to know how much this is going to cost and if it's valuable. One thing with all of our Penn Foster programs, and high school definitely included here, is that the tuition is meant to be affordable. So we offer payment plans starting as low as $55 a month. The total cost of your program can depend on whether you pay in full, which definitely can offer you some savings, or you're able to choose a monthly payment plan. It can also depend on whether you have credits to transfer from a previous school. And if you do, that can save you money. So the cost is kind of dependent on what credits that you're coming in with and how you plan on paying. But we can help you figure that out. So definitely recommend calling admissions. That number, once again, is 1-888-427-6500. They can help you start the process to have your transcripts evaluated. And based on what credits you're coming in with, that can determine the cost of your program. But like I said, they are meant to be affordable. So there are ways that we can work with you to help you figure out how you can pay for this and enroll if this is the right thing for you. I in there I did mention that one benefit of having a high school diploma is you need it if you want to go to college. Most colleges do require a high school diploma. Um, we do often see the question, can I go to college with a Penn Foster diploma? Jess, what would you say to that?
So, going back to the first section that I talked about, where I used all of those big words and talked about all of our accrediting boards, because Penn Foster is accredited, the diploma you get is 100% legitimate. Most colleges will accept a high school diploma that is regionally accredited, just like they would accept a public high school diploma. However, schools look more at where you graduated from when considering students for admission, such as grades, extracurricular activities, volunteer activities, and so much more. So it can be really helpful to reach out to a few colleges you might want to attend before that you might want to attend and learn more about their admission requirements before you enroll in Penn Foster. So if you already have an idea of where you might want to go to school in the future, definitely it's always good to be proactive than it is to be reactive. So reaching out to those schools, ensuring that, what you have and the things that you've done in your personal life, like we said, volunteering, your extracurricular activities, and the way that your grades look are setting you up for success. So always keep that in the back of your mind. For those who live in New York State, the process is a bit different. New York State colleges currently don't accept any online high school diplomas, whether they're accredited or not. That means if you want to go to a New York State school, Penn Foster might not be the right fit for you. So keeping that in mind when you're deciding where you may want to attend college, if you're going to go to an in-person college, if that makes sense. Another question that we get asked a lot is, what is the difference between Penn Foster and homeschool? And there are quite a few differences. So Lauren, do you want to dive into those really quick?
Sure. So even though you can complete your Penn Foster high school diploma from home, it isn't necessarily the same thing as homeschool. So with homeschooling, generally the parents act as the teachers and they have to create your lesson plans and actually teach you the curriculum. They would have to grade your tests and papers and submit their curriculum and other paperwork to your local school district to make sure you're getting the education that you need. Online high school is still high school. You have classes, tests, and assignments to complete, but the difference is that your parents don't have to come up with the lessons or be involved in teaching you. Everything that you need is right online. So, generally, once you transfer to Penn Foster High School, your parent or guardian shouldn't have to report any of your grades or attendance to the school district outside of filling out any initial paperwork when you transfer. However, some districts may have different requirements, so it's best to check with them about everything you need to do to successfully transfer to an online school before enrolling. So, one perk of online high school is that you wouldn't necessarily be relying on a parent to be available to teach you and report on the curriculum, which is nice if you're somebody who does learn more independently and this is something that you want to take on yourself, especially if you have parents who are working or don't have the time to commit to teaching you, or also you just don't want them teaching you. This could be a good option for you. And of course, if you need help from your parents or want them to be involved, you're still welcome to ask them questions or for help or to explain things like you would in a public school, but you don't need their involvement the way you would with homeschooling, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's definitely a perk and is definitely great for families like you said, Lauren, who your parents work. They don't necessarily have time to commit full time to teaching you at home. Penn Foster Online High School is a really great option to cut that middleman out.
Yeah, but I know one thing that a lot of parents will ask about is they still want to be involved. So they want to know if they're capable of tracking your progress and your grades. While students in online high school don't necessarily get report cards, grades and progress can be tracked through the student portal. Parents won't have a separate login to do this, but it's important to share your login info with them so they can check in on how you're doing and keep up to date with how well your classes are going. And this could just be something that maybe you do for them so that they feel more comfortable and confident with your education and your progress, and they feel like they're being kept in the loop. So it's a nice way that you can always be sharing your accomplishments, and hopefully you're doing well and it's all accomplishments. But if you're struggling, it's a way that they can kind of see that and help you out so that you get to the next phase in your education.
Great point. Definitely great point.
We talked about transfer credits a little bit in terms of how that factors into cost. But Jess, can you talk a little bit more about the actual process for transferring your credits from your current school to Penn Foster?
Yes, absolutely, because this is a big one. Lauren did mention earlier that if you do have credits that will transfer into Penn Foster, it can help save you a little bit of money and save you from redoing courses and things that you already learned. So the process is actually pretty straightforward, but your parent or guardian will have to make sure that they work with your school and school district to properly transfer you. Generally, once you're officially enrolled in Penn Foster, your parents will talk to your school and fill out the appropriate paperwork to transfer you. They'll also have the school send us at Penn Foster an official copy of your transcripts so we can transfer in any eligible classes that you've already completed, which is awesome. Doing that actual credit transfer is, looks a little different for everybody. So once you're enrolled, your parents will have your school send us an official copy of your transcripts. Our transcript team will review your transcripts and transfer any applicable classes or grades into your Penn Foster Penn Foster program, not grades, excuse me, credits or classes, not your grades. Generally, we will transfer in classes that align with our curriculum. So if you have a passing grade and for the years in which you have a passing grade and for the years that you have completed them. So for example, if you've completed all of 9th grade and some of 10th grade before you enroll in online school, you may not have transferable credits from 10th grade since you didn't complete the full year. Once your credits have been transferred, they'll be applied to your student portal, and you'll only have to complete whatever classes are left. So, really straightforward process. Our transcript team handles everything from taking your transcripts, looking at them, and applying them to the correct classes. So, you don't have to sit with one book in this hand and your transcripts in this hand and try to line them up. That we take care of all of that for you. And in the long run, it can help save you a little bit of money and save you a little bit of time on your program, which is awesome.
Definitely. And one just point of clarification with what Jess said is um, the grades will factor in only in terms of you would need a passing grade for the transfer credits to apply, because we just need to see that you did have a mastery of that course, and we can confidently say that that's something that you're good with. If you didn't have a passing grade, then that would, of course, be something where you may need a little bit more learning there, and would have to take that.
Thank
Um,
you, Lauren, for there's just a lot of information, and we just want to make sure that we're giving it to you guys the exact
yes.
straightforward way that is correct. So I appreciate that.
No. And then thank you, Jess, for walking through that process. It sounds like a few steps, but our team really does make it pretty easy to do. And then once you're in, you are probably wondering, well, then what's the curriculum like at Penn Foster and learning online? So, just like a traditional high school, you'll need to complete classes and core subjects like English, math, history, and science. You'll also have some electives you can choose to round out your education, and these you can tailor to what you might want to do next after high school. So, that's pretty cool. Those electives could be in subjects that interest you and make it more enjoyable as well. They can be more academically advanced if you need more of a challenge, and they can even be the start of preparing for a future career, which is pretty cool. Um, Another thing that learners may want to know is, are there any set schedules, start times, or class times? One of the biggest benefits of online high school is that it is self paced, allowing you and your parent to make your own schedule and determine when you should study, take tests, or log in and make any progress. So, no, there are no set class times or due dates for exams or assignments, which is pretty nice. You'll study and learn at the pace that works best for you. So, if you're going on a trip, or you want to take some time off over the holidays, or whatever, you can make that work for you. There are also no year or semester start dates. You can enroll and start your classes whenever you are ready, whether that's during the traditional back to school season, in the summer, whenever. It's up to you. So, we gave you a lot of information there. Now I guess we'll get into a little bit more of like, what are genuinely some of the benefits of online high school? And then with that, are there any cons of online high school that, you know, everyone should be aware of? And keep in mind, again, as Jess said earlier, this is a decision that you have to make for yourself, and it has to be right for you. So we want to help give you the information for you and your parent to decide if this is going to be the right thing for you.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And what better way to convince your parents or help you make this decision than to lay out all of the benefits for them. So here are a couple that you can use in your, when you're having this conversation with your parents. First of all, it is self-paced, like Lauren said. That means that students can take their time with classes and subjects that they might struggle with, or finish classes at a quicker pace than they'd like. You can also set your own study schedule based on things like having a job or extracurricular activities or hobbies or other interests. It can also be a great option for students who find learning in a classroom distracting. And since it's done at home and independently, you can control your environment, which is a huge one also. You can take it on the go. You don't have to be tied down to your desk all day long to learn. Students can take high school with them wherever they go, as long as they have a smartphone, tablet, or laptop connected to the internet. So if you do go on a vacation or you go away for any particular reason and you have time, you can pick it up and do a lesson or two, and that's always a nice flexibility to have. It can also allow students to graduate early, which is incredible. Since it's self-paced, you can go through your classes at the speed that works for you. Many students are able to graduate early and move on to college or other pursuits earlier than they would with a traditional high school, which is another huge reason why students choose Penn Foster, is being able to put the work in extra hard at the beginning and graduate early and get the rest of their life started after that, which is amazing. But there are also a couple of cons, and with pros, you're always going to have cons, right? So they don't just want your parents just don't want to just know the good things about online school. They want to make sure that you are aware of what the drawbacks are too. These could include having to be independent and have good time management skills. In online school, there's no teacher telling you when you need to submit assignments or tests, and there's no rule for when you have to log in and study. So, for students who aren't able to manage their time, it can be a struggle to complete the program without more help from their parents. You also have to take into consider that you're not going to school in person. Not making friends can also be a huge thought in the back of your head as to why you might not want to do this. Parents may be worried that if you're enrolled in online school, you won't have the same opportunities to make friends and build relationships. While that is true to some extent, there are other opportunities to make friends, including the Penn Foster student community. The community is a place where only Penn Foster students can go to connect with other students, find study buddies, ask questions, and it's a really active, lively place. We have an amazing community manager named Sean, who's always in there, and he's always looking to converse and talk with you guys. And separate from him, just having other students that are going through the same thing that you are can make you feel connected, even if you've never met in person, which is really incredible. The last thing would be missing out on those traditional high school activities. With online high school, there's no prom, homecoming, or spirit week. As an online student, your parents may worry that you'll miss out on the fun parts of being in regular school. But those activities aren't necessarily for everyone. If that's the case for you, then make sure your parents know that. And just because you go to online school doesn't mean you have to miss out on things like football games, sports, or extracurricular activities. Some schools and districts may offer opportunities for online and homeschool students to take part in those activities. So be sure to check with a guidance counselor on what could still be available to you if you decide to transfer to online school.
That was a lot to think about. And I know we
Yes.
covered a ton of information today. I'm going to get in a little bit to how to enroll, but I'll just start by saying, with all of this to keep in mind, it's important to do your research. In addition to what we covered today, take a look around our website, pennfoster.edu, check out our blogs, check out our program pages, learn more. All of the information that we talked about is there, and that could be a great resource in how you make this decision. But if you're good to go, you want to move forward with taking your education online, that's awesome. If you are under 18, your parent or guardian will need to be the one to enroll you if that's something that you want to do. They'll need to be the one to call our admissions team at 1-888-427-6500 to get you all set up. To enroll, your parents will also need to make the first tuition payment, and from there, you'll be able to be good to go. You can log in and start your classes within the same day if you wanted to. Once you're officially enrolled, your parents will work with your school to make sure they've submitted the right paperwork to have you officially transferred. And if you're over 18, we have tons of adult learners who enroll in Penn Foster, and that's awesome. You're good to go. You can enroll yourself and be the one to speak with admissions and get yourself all set up, which is really cool. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, for commenting, and speaking with us today. We hope we gave you some good information that will allow you to make a good decision that really works for you. And if online learning is it, that's awesome. And we are excited to have you start your journey with us. Share updates on how you're doing on our social media channels. Make sure to tag us. We love seeing your progress and what you're accomplishing. We're just so proud of you.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.